The man menu. Let's mask our shame in online dating by consistently disparaging the bar scene, a place where back in the olden days we would meet people and let alcohol and poor judgment decide our future. Unknown. I have a sassy single girlfriend, a self proclaimed serial dater. No one has been on more first dates than me, she declared, with all the pride of someone who holds the world record in something a tad more impressive than the most Tinder matches. She compared the delights and disasters of dating to picking up a hitchhiker, with a dark and stormy in hand and a tutorial like tone, as if she had a PhD in the subject. She began, Christina, it's like this. You meet a guy, he's cute, exciting, and seems to be traveling in your general direction. So he gets in your car. He could be a serial killer, an Oxford business professor, or both. You just don't know. But regardless, there you are anyway, embarking on a road trip with this stranger. The journey could be very short, minutes even, ending with an immediate ejection of him from your car. This is likely prompted by some offensive one liner like, "Hey, saucy thing, do you like to be urinated on?" Or perhaps it could go on for years. But eventually the car ride is over. He gets out. Maybe you barely slow down the car to yell, "Tuck and roll, dickhead," as you toss his sorry ass out to the curb. And then you go on your way, picking up the next handsome hitchhiker you see along life's highway. This all made perfect sense to me. I've never been a serial dater. I've tended to fall from one monogamous relationship to another. Many of my relationships have been a result of friends morphing into lovers. One day you could be actively debating current affairs or tactically problem solving a client's latest insane demands. Then, bam, the next thing you know, you're lying in bed together as you draw tiny circles with your forefinger through your new lover's chest hair. Dating is a world that I only truly immersed myself in after my divorce to John, as even in high school, I wouldn't say that I played the field. Here are some hints to indicate just how long it had been since I was actively dating. Margaret Thatcher was Prime Minister, Air Supply was all out of love on the FM dial, and I had to rewind the tape on my answering machine once I got home to hear who called. We were now in a time when the act of dating took on all the appearance of an uncomfortable series of Diane Sawyer like job interviews. Only, unlike a job interview, the lucky candidate, if hired, would see me naked. The dating skills I had been working with all came from circa 1980s television, including a Charlie's Angels hair flip to signal interest, which I have to say worked exceptionally well for me in 1981. Or here's another provocative pointer, this time from Amanda Woodward from Melrose Place. I'd flirtatiously take my forefinger and seductively trace the rim of my cocktail glass while gently biting my lower lip, you know, for intrigue. Oh, the shame. Therefore, we can safely conclude that my dating experience was as relevant and useful as a rotary phone in today's world of swiping left or right while browsing a menu of men on my iPhone. In our 20s, we try on men like dresses on a final clearance sale. If this one doesn't fit or look right, let's add another to our heaving basket. And why not? We are figuring it out, exploring and developing our unsophisticated palate, trying to find our style. In our 30s, the dating swamp gets drained, with a lot of us coupled up and settled down. I was having kids and doing adult things like making a living, contributing to a retirement savings plan, and wondering if perhaps the grass might be greener somewhere else. As I re entered the world of dating in my 40s, I was hauling along a hell of a lot more baggage than when Thatcher was sworn in. My baggage held kids, exes, battle scars, internal bruises, sagging skin, and a few vacillating self esteem issues. All this is to say is that although the caveman like desire to be thrown over some handsome man's shoulder and carried into his cave was strong, a hell of a lot had changed. But there's a reward for reaching your 40s having survived the previous decades, and that's called experience. I found a certain weeding out process has been internally programmed in me, pretty much automatically. Experience has gifted me, hopefully, insight into what I want or don't want when it comes to looking for men. With minimal thought and effort, I now know if the guy sitting across the table from me on our first date has any staying potential. Usually before he even shakes my hand and says, "You must be Christina." Short of me wearing a brown burlap Obi-Wan Kenobi robe, I can take on the power and certainty of a Jedi Master. These are not the men I'm looking for. That's what age has gifted me, an ability to separate the sheep from the goats. There's something else I do, and it's a real time-saving question we girls need to ask ourselves. A question I'm pretty confident I've not seen chewed over in any Austen novel. Do I want to see him naked? This is an immediate leveler. It effectively separates boyfriend material from those destined to be nothing more than a good friend, leaving some men never entirely understanding why the two of you never hooked up. He could have all the qualities you want in a guy, be perfect on paper, sharing the same love for old Cary Grant movies, and coming from a family of sisters, so have a deep respect for women. Yet something is missing. There's no spark, no chemistry. You look at him, still genuinely laughing from the joke he told, and for reasons you're unable to put your finger on, you just don't want to see him naked. So sure, you could go see this guy for a second date or a third, but I'm just saying that sometime in the not so distant future, you'll be suggesting to him out loud with conviction, "You should really meet my friend Charlotte. I think you guys would hit it off." I was actively resisting online dating, much like getting a flu jab or a suspicious mole looked at. But somehow I knew it was just a matter of time before I caved. I'm sure there are those out there who could talk in more depth and delicious detail about the cyber dating world. I've not logged endless woman hours sifting through thousands and thousands of profile photos of men with no last names. But my experience has taught me you don't have to log 10,000 hours to get the swing or the swipe of it. It's not brain surgery or MasterChef. Zealously, my super annoying coupled up girlfriends, the ones who spew the word soulmate, want nothing more than to feverishly spread the gospel according to Tinder. With a complete disregard for any of my objections, supported by an enthusiastic determination usually reserved for pyramid schemes and cult recruiting, they commandeered my phone. Fueled by an impressive quantity of Don Julio, they collectively discussed the answers on the dating profile questionnaire they were joyously filling out on my behalf. Do you think Christina would use the word fun-loving to describe herself? What do you think is the one item she could not live without? Cell phone, they all answered in unison. Phone returned, and presto, my new online dating profile was live, and I officially crossed, or rather been shoved, over the threshold into a new alternative dating paradigm. What did I have to lose? So, with the right balance of intrigue and trepidation, I entered the world of the man menu. Let's discuss. Much like Uber Eats, catalog men magically appear on your screen. And just like the food ordering service, it's advised not to be doing this if you're starving. In a moment of surrender, I thought, okay, this will make my dating life easy peasy, as my good friend Nicole likes to say. I can pick up men from the comfort of my home wearing nothing but my white company cashmere onesie and an aqua ocean detoxifying face mask. Just look at these pages and pages of potential Mr. Darcy's searching for love. I opened a bottle of wine and poured myself a large glass of Chardonnay, adding an ice cube, thinking I could be here for a while. I plopped down on my sofa and excitedly started to dig into my man menu. In my mind, here's how I imagined the guy: a Tom Cruise smile, piercing Bradley Cooper eyes, and a Hemsworth insane ripped body. Either Hemsworth would do. The kind of eye candy that evokes pure animal chemistry and pheromones that, once released, surge through your body like electricity freshly squeezed from a hydro station. However, after a few minutes of surfing and swiping left and left again, a thought surfaced. Did the dating site not receive my questionnaire that my girlfriends filled out on my behalf while hijacking my phone? Of course, my immediate second thought was, just how did they answer those questions? The questions that ask what you're looking for in a partner, as well as describing yourself in moderate detail. Simple things such as age range, height requirements, ethnic and/or religious preference. Do you have children? Want children? Are you a dog person or a cat person? Smoker or non-smoker? On a scale of 1 to 10, how important is it that your partner has all his teeth? Okay, maybe I made that last one up, but after looking at some of the guys, I respectfully suggest that that might need to be dropped into the company's feedback box. I felt like I had entered that bar in Star Wars. Puzzled, I stared down at my phone screen. Could this really be what the app's algorithm had in mind for me? Were these my carefully screened data supported potential soulmates? Another thought entered my brain, like a detonated bomb bringing down an apartment block. Oh, dear God, am I not hotter than this? I could feel my Aqua Ocean detoxifying face mask hardening. This was not going to be as much fun as I thought. For me, there are a few basic non-starters, non-negotiables, an unwavering list of no-goes ain't never gonna happen. My first requirement is that any potential man be a non-smoker. Occasional weed is fine, hell, it might even be preferred, but I can't be with anyone who smokes cigarettes or cigars. Another essential is that he looks after himself. He doesn't have to look like he's leapt off the cover of Men's Health, but someone who gives a shit about what he looks like. I may not possess the ability to ski better than an average 7-year-old or throw a ball that doesn't land in a small Charlie Brown-like arc mere feet from where it started, but I'm active and fit. And sure, there was that frozen shoulder sports injury when I found myself trapped inside my Lululemon sports bra after spin class. But sure, I'd appreciate a guy who, keeps it all together. That's why they have the questionnaire, right? To offer you a filtered collection of potential partners, carefully and meticulously selected based on your answers. So, excuse me if I politely ask, what the fuck is the guy with the Santa bod and a cohiba hanging from his mouth, reeking of inappropriate, doing in my filtered selection of men? As I browsed the man menu, I was gobsmacked and confused. Aside from the app's total disregard for the fact that I prefer my men looking like they hold a job or have not been held up for years in some isolated cabin in the Appalachia, I couldn't get over the lack of effort or thought that was sometimes put into that oh so important profile photo. You know, the ones you'd assume would be carefully thought out and crafted, specifically selected to impress and lure a like minded lifelong mate. After all, this is their one chance to make a first impression, an impression you only have a fraction of a second to capture. Even though my friends had mostly crafted my profile, don't think for 1 second that I didn't have some sort of input, even if it was me just yelling across the table. Use the photo of me from the Dior exhibit. The one with me in the white dress. No, not that one. The halter neck. Oh, just give me the phone. I'll find it myself. This is the modern day version of Tarzan beating out his mating call on his chest. It's a carefully crafted resume for a lifetime of love. These apps use a highly advanced algorithm that, if required, should be able to track missing children and match potential organ donors. So, how is it possible, as I search for Mr. Darcy, that I'm finding Tony Soprano, with not a hint of Prince Charming or even his less desirable second cousin, Prince Adequate? I quickly put a system in place for immediate rejection, no second guessing. I straight away gave a swift swipe to the left if any profile photos included the following: posing with a cigarette or cigar, posing with a gun, more of an American thing, posing with a pint, more of a British thing, posing with his children, posing with another woman, a faceless torso, a bodiless face, posturing in front of a car, motorcycle, or speedboat, a bathroom selfie. Let's discuss this last one in more detail. I mean, seriously, just how much effort is he putting into this? And likely all aspects of his life, if he only has the marginal energy to snap a photo of himself in his bathroom mirror somewhere between brushing his teeth and his morning crap. The whole experience was making me nostalgic for cocktail-fueled bad man choices in smoky bars. But wait, I'm not done. I need to add more immediate rejection conditions. Any man I suspect hiding small critters in his facial hair, a body type that forces me to ask, when was the last time this dude ate a salad? Any photo with even the vaguest similarity to a mugshot or surveillance footage? A man euphorically holding up a fish, more of a Canadian thing. I looked at these men and I seriously asked myself, who are the lids to these girlfriend-seeking pots? Maybe I inadvertently pissed one of my friends off with one too many soulmate disses, and this was my penance. Perhaps I was being punked. I regrouped about a week later with my friends, the ones guilty of this punishable crime, and we went through the trials and tribulations of being single and online dating in much detail. It was agreed that not all men showed zero potential. It was further agreed, of course, not immediately by me, that I might not be giving this online dating a real chance. So, urged to keep an open mind, I re-examined those men who had a classically warm smile, a kind, friendly face, and for me, my ultimate weakness, those in a tuxedo. And there, among the rubble of fallen men, something sparkled. Armed with a cautiously optimistic curiosity and a recently adopted attitude of what the hell, I swiped right on Reed with no last name.